Hey guys, welcome back. Just a little update. We've got some plumbing active now. This supply line and that supply line and the sink will all supply water now. Cold water, as I've said before, I will heat my own water with my brew kettles, and I will have a little hot plate there that I can use. I've also got gas burners outside. I can also run inside if I just need to use the hot tap. But yeah, hooked up this today. This obviously swivels like that. Keep it out of the way, and then you can also disconnect that to spray water wherever you want it, as I just did from the little drips. But yeah, it's supplied by a little ball valve underneath here, and as you can see, I've put in T-piece and elbow off with a little nipple there to connect the supply, cold water supply. So that's pretty cool. I do have to check up in here if there is any leaks. I didn't properly check that, so I will check that later. But it is pressurized, so I can just check for any drips on the bottom. What else we got? So I had a guy actually. I've seen this before online, like a pH meter stand. I've got the Milwaukee pH meter, MW102, the old school non-black one. Probably look really cool with the black one in it, to be honest, but I'm not spending another $150 on a pH meter, so this will do. This is good enough. Yeah, pH meter, the body of it just slips in here, and then we've got these this little stand here that actually allows you to put your temperature probe and your electrode into a solution held within a container underneath, which is pretty cool. That just holds down with a little screw at the top there and a little washer, so you can loosen that off and swivel that in and out of the way if you want. You can also hold your electrode in here at the back, and I believe that is large enough to it's not large enough to fit the little bottle here, but I believe it is large enough to slide this down the side if you wanted to store it dry. I'm not going to store it dry. I'm going to keep it in its potassium chloride storage solution. But yeah, pretty cool that you can get a little glass beaker that fits in there maybe, or something a little bit nicer, and you can take your samples in there if you want it to not wobble around. Obviously sitting there, it's not going to wobble around, but yeah, $25. Guy in Perth printed it for me. I just sent him the file and said, can you do it? I did buy some other stuff off him before that, so I had dealt with him before. But yeah, $25 plus shipping. If anyone's got one, pretty cool. The guy, his business name I believe is Geoprint Services. If anyone's interested, I can put a link below. He has an Etsy store and I believe a website as well that he runs through, so check it out if you're interested. I did get a Kegland delivery as well the other day, so those of you with keen eyes would know what this is. One of the new Kegland products that they have advertised for a little bit, or have had listed on their website for a little bit. It is the dry disconnect fittings for glycol. So they're basically just plastic ball locks on a larger scale, but they don't operate in the same way as ball locks where a pin pushes down the poppet. These work by a dual pin design. On the inside there, you've got a little pin that pops up. They press each other, and then the liquid flows in between the two and through, based on pump being on one side and lack of pressure being on the other side. So pretty cool. I got 4 sets. I've got a G20, so it's got 4 like 2 inlets, 2 outlets to the 2 pumps. So there's an inlet and outlet for each. So I'll be able to disconnect my G20 and on both the inlet and outlet, and disconnect the fermenter as well. So pretty cool. I'll get that glycol chiller hooked up and set up and sort of ready to go soon, when I'm ready to get this place operational. And I'll probably buy a whole bunch more of these. They aren't cheap, but they're not expensive. When I was originally looking for this kind of thing, they're from the New Era Brewing. They have the same fittings, but they're never in stock. for a start, but they're also the SS Brewtech in the SS Brewtech kit. So when I was looking to buy them, because they were never in stock in individual pieces, I wasn't really interested in buying the SS Brewtech FTSS kit, whatever it's called. So when Kegland put these out, I jumped straight on it, got the notification email, and ordered that afternoon. So they turned up pretty quick. I've had them sitting around for a little bit, just while I finish some other bits and pieces off. But yeah, pretty cool. Reminds me of my tractor and the flat face coupler fittings. Similar sort of design, one male, one female piece, except obviously not flat. So, but similar sort of design where the pressure pops out or in this case there is a spring, I believe, a spring mechanism, but since it pops back with no pressure. But yeah, pretty cool. Nice to see some in Australia that aren't ridiculously expensive and aren't ridiculous to get a hold of. Thank you, Kegland. I've got, I don't know if I've shown this as well, but this is the USB wall plug thing. It's a clip tool Schneider Electric piece. I think it's the Iconic range. I can probably pull that off. Nope. Need a screwdriver to get behind and just pop it off in the appropriate locations. But yeah, 3 USB type A's. I think it does 1 fast charge or 1 high amp and 2 low amp at the same time, but they're all able to supply power, obviously. This one, I believe, is the high output one. It's got a little, I don't know if you can see that there, it's got a little thing there. Maybe that's the high amp one, or maybe they're all a high amp and it just balances based on what actually is got a current draw. I don't know the smarts behind it, but yeah, pretty cool. Next parts for me would be to do the architraves in here. I need to do the door trim around, get that done. I've got material there, probably not enough to get the whole thing done. We'll see. If I can get it done, I'll get the door done, and then I'll go get the bit to do just there, and then I can bring the bench in. So pretty keen to bring that in, cut the legs to size and sort it out. You would have noticed, obviously, been leaning on it and using it in the video. The bench top is in. I'm shaking that and that's not moving, so that is solidly attached to all of the cupboards. I've screwed it in underneath. Just some little brackets that picked up at the hardware. Cupboards are screwed into the walls as well, so they're fixed in place. Nothing's going to move. These 2 cupboards are screwed together. Standard kind of kitchen install. I've measured up for the skirting that goes, the kickboard that goes from here to the wall, and a little filler panel that goes in there. Build a little L-shaped thing and you drill it in from the side and connect it all up. Normal kind of process. Just stops you having, like, sometimes in the corners the walls can be out and stuff like that. It's good just to finish it off nice and neat. I'll have an end panel here that sticks out and matches to the door, so when the cupboard door goes on, it's not a gap or anything stupid. It doesn't show white, it shows the painted color. That'll extend down to the floor, and it'll actually extend all the way down to the floor out here, so the kickboard sits against it. The same on that side, except that one's going all the way across to there. Cupboard, 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 and yeah, then we're done there. And a little filler panel, obviously. Not much else to show at the moment. I will be putting some foam filler in the back here, just squeezing that in before I put some colour match sealant in. I just got the charcoal. It's a pretty close match for colour to the wall, I think. Yeah, it should look pretty good. I'll probably do that maybe this weekend, tomorrow morning or something. We'll see what happens. That'll just seal that off, and if I do spill any liquid on there, this is oiled, so it's not gonna do much to this, but I don't want it dripping down behind the wall, which is pretty normal. Yeah, so I just got to clean up in here a little bit, probably give it a proper vacuum with the house vacuum, maybe give it a mop, and then I'll start to do the architraves and skirtings and stuff, and I'll cut those outside and bring them in as I need to. Anyway, that about wraps it up for this one. If you're interested in this pH meter stand, just let me know and I can pop a link to the Etsy store in the comments. He did get some photos off me for it, so I'm kind of hoping he starts to sell it, list it on his website. At least people in Australia then have a source of pH meter holder for these Milwaukee pH meters. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know down in the comments below, and yeah, we'll see you next video. Cheers.